deals with stress on a daily basis. According to helpguide.org, stress is a normal physical response to events that make you feel threatened or upset your balance in some way. When you sense danger, whether it is real or imagined, the body's defenses kick into high gear into a rapid automatic response known as the fight or flight reaction or the stress response. There are different types of stress, warning signs or symptoms, and many ways to be able to manage your stress. A little stress is good though, but too much stress is bad. There are 4 major types of stress. The first type is eustress, which is the only good stress. The Health Center Online said, eustress is a type of short-term stress that provides immediate strength. Eustress arises at points of increased physical activity, enthusiasm, and creativity. Eustress is a positive stress that arises when motivation and inspiration are needed. The first type of bad stress is distress. This is a negative stress brought about by constant readjustments or alterations in a routine. Distress creates feelings or discomfort and unfamiliarity. The second type of bad distress is hyperstress. This occurs when an individual is pushed beyond what he or she can handle. Hyperstress results from being overloaded or overworked. The third type of bad stress is hypostress. Hypostress is the opposite of hyperstress. Hypostress occurs when an individual is bored or unchallenged. People who experience hypostress are often restless and uninspired. What I just talked about, this graph describes. Right over here on the green side is the healthy tension, which is the eustress, or the good type. Over here on the red side is the imbalance, which is distress, the bad side. A little stress or low stress is good because it makes you perform at your highest or your peak performance. But if you have too much stress or high stress, you can have a breakdown, which is not good at all. Being able to deal with stress and its symptoms is very important. There are many warning signs that show a person they have too much stress in their lives. There is a large range of symptoms that show there is too much stress. There are 4 major regions. The first region is cognitive symptoms, which include anxiety, memory problems, and poor judgment. The second region is emotional symptoms, which include agitation, depression, and short tempers. The third region is physical symptoms, which include diarrhea or constipation, chest pains, and nausea. The fourth region is behavioral symptoms, which include isolation, nervous habits, and eating or sleeping too much or too little. If a person has the majority of these symptoms, they should go to a doctor because stress can become a killer. Being able to deal with the stress and its symptoms is very important. There are many different techniques to manage a person's stress. The first technique is taking charge. Taking charge of your thoughts, your emotions, your schedule, and your environment, and the way you deal with your problems. The second technique is dealing with a person's problems. A person can do this by identifying the problems that cause the stress, then dealing with them in a different way to make it not as stressful. The third technique of managing stress is stress management. Stress management involves changing the stressful situation when you can, changing your reaction, when you can't, taking care of yourself, and making time for rest and relaxation. Stress can be overbearing, but do not let it get the best of you. Overall, stress is everywhere, even if you do not know it. There are different types of stress, good and bad, warning signs or symptoms, and many ways to be able to manage your stress. Always keep in mind, as fatfreekitchen.com says, most of us experience stress at one time or another. Without stress, there would be no life. Thank you.
You got 30 more seconds.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Here's the team. There's me.